Inventory management is the process of tracking where your products are at all times and when to order more. These techniques can improve your inventory management process. Any business that sells physical goods, it needs a place or store items, whether that's warehouse or your store, your office store or whatever it could be. Inventory management is a crucial to prevent loss of items, quickly fulfill customer orders and know when you need to buy more or give products. It contributes directly to profitability, and no business can successfully scale without an inventory management process in place. Makes sense, right? Now let us understand what is inventory management. Inventory management is the process by which an organization manages its physical stock or goods, right? Controlling the inflow and outflow of the products from the point of procurement to the final sale. This includes tracking inventory by location, choosing when to submit purchase orders, and fulfill sales in the efficient manner. Inventory management is the process to manage physical stock or products that you buy and sell. Inventory management includes procuring, storing, managing, and ensuring that the products is there when a customer is ready to buy it. Makes sense, right? So you should have all the stock when the customer is looking for the products to buy. Why is inventory management is so important? Inventory management is important to wide range of businesses, including retail companies, shipping, and logistic operations, and manufacturing businesses. The exact nature of inventory management, the business's inventory management process, is dedicated by the type of inventory is requires. For example, a retail business needs to track only the location and quantities of the finished goods it is selling, while a manufacturer needs a account of both raw materials and finished goods. Yes or no? Say you are selling jeans, for an example. The first thing you start with your predicting how much you are going to sell per quarter. Place an order only for those items which is required for that per quarter requirement. You can't overstock. The moment when you overstock more than for a quarter required, then that could be a, out of trend, or it could be it's going to expire soon. So you need to know, per quarter how much goods you can sell it, how much demand do you have. Supply and demand is very important, right? So when you have demand for so and so quantity for a quarter, so you stock only for that much required quantities. If it's a seasonal sale for the quarter, then you can little stock more. Sometimes there is no season, then the sales are going down, then you can minimize your quantity to stock. Now, where will you store the products? Question yourself, it's very important, right? Consider whether you need a warehouse or if you can store your inventory in a physical retail environment. If you are an online business selling and on a e-commerce platform, ask yourself whether you need a separate location to store products or if you have enough room in your main office. How much are you going to store at one time? Question yourself. Accurate sales projections will help you better understand how much products you need to purchase and maintain at given time. A process known as inventory control. Balance is key. Correct? You never want to hold too many inventories at once. It's going to be as a dead stock. You understand what is dead stock, right? So why you want to overload and making them as a dead stock? But you also want to always have enough units on hand to fulfill sales quickly. This is very important. Now, how do you store your inventory? Storage is a lot more than holding space for items awaiting sales. It includes setting up, ensuring storage locations, I can say, multiple locations, are clean and free moisture or contaminates, and establishing a quality assurance process to guarantee that the products delivered by suppliers are in stable condition. Inventory management is the process of creating an organized system for purchasing, tracking, and reordering products. Now let us talk about in detail, there is something called as a POS inventory management. What is POS? Point of sale inventory management. That is called as POS inventory management. Business owners can keep track of their inventory across multiple sales locations, all from centralizing it's a centralized system. A POS system works hand to hand with inventory management, as it helps you to keep an accurate account or accurate count of your inventory with every sale you make. POS system also help counter human error, since they automate things, they automate tracking. You can search for transactions, get updates on inventory counts, and easily track sales trends among your products. These insights can make managing your business much easier and more efficient, while providing you with the real-time data to inform business decisions. You can make all the plannings by looking at the quarterly reports and all this stuff, how much inventory is required to stock. Now I'm going to talk about inventory management techniques, which is very important and very essential. Please write down. I'm going to go point by point. Okay. So if you are establishing a view, or if you are establishing a new inventory management process or looking to improve your existing one, so I'm going to talk about few of the inventory management techniques that may help you a lot. It could be very helpful. So write down in the pointers, first point, FIFO versus LIFO. Now what is FIFO? First in, first out is called as FIFO. And now what is LIFO? Last in, first out is called as LIFO. First in, first out versus last in, first out. That is called FIFO versus LIFO. Accounting methods, also known as costing. They are called as accounting methods and also called as costing, based on how products move through your warehouse. You understanding, right? Now FIFO is a usual system for businesses that sell the oldest inventory first. If it was first into your warehouse coming in, it should also be the first out of the door from your warehouse. Someone orders the product, the moment when they order the product, it has to be the first out of the warehouse. The first come, it has to be the first out of the warehouse. This keeps the inventory as fresh as possible, which is essential for perishable or expiring goods. You can avoid that. You don't need expiring goods to be there in the inventory, right? In the warehouse. So always make sure whichever the product is come for the first time inside the warehouse, make sure when there's an order placed, those are the one which is come first, which will be first to go out of the warehouse. Now, LIFO is a opposite of FIFO, ensuring that the most recently received inventory is the first out of the door. FIFO is the default costing method, but LIFO makes sense for businesses that don't ship perishable goods, because the way this accounting methods reports income as potential tax advantages. Now write down the second point, demand forecasting. Demand forecasting. Demand forecasting is also called as sales projections. It helps you understand how much of each product you need to have on hand to all at all the times to meet your customers' demand. For established businesses, demand forecasting should be based on historical sales data. Newer businesses might need a rely on assumptions and industry data until they have a sales history of their own. So that is what I'm talking about. So when you planning for the present quarter, the sales, the stocks, you need to look into the historical sales data. Last year, all look into all the quarters. Look into the last 3 quarters. Look into the last quarter for the same quarter which you are in this present year. Look what was the performance for the last year for the same quarter. So you will get to know the historical data to plan things. Right now, demand forecasting is essential to inventory management because it helps you determine the minimum amount of the product you should have on hand and set reorder targets when you reach that number. See, the demand forecast quarterly is adjusted your minimum quantities and reordering targets. So sometime if it's a seasonal sales, in that particular quarter, if there's a season where the sales goes up, and you're noticed that last year the same quarter which had a sales up, up quarter, it is the performing quarter, high sales, then you need to plan to stock based on the last quarter what it was, and if you're projecting more with your new strategies that sales could go more, shoot up more, then you can stock more. If the quarter is performed low in sales in the last year on the same quarter, then you can lower your inventory, stocking your inventory in a warehouse. This is how you need to plan things, reordering the targets. Now let us talk about minimum order quantity versus economic order quantity. See, the minimum order quantity, which is called as MOQ, and economic order quantity is called as EOQ. There are two methods of business can use to determine when to reorder your products. MAQ focuses on maintaining the minimum possible amount of each product type a sale is willing to fulfill. High ticket items tend to have a lower MOQ, while low cost items often have a higher MOQ. It is important to take this into account when reordering products from suppliers. Consider a supplier's MOQ for a particular product against your own sales projections. The EOQ method is more common for manufacturers which have an account for variable costs like raw materials, production, and fluctuating demand. It is designed for companies to keep cost down by purchasing the greatest amount possible of multiple products units to minimize the need to reorder item individually. You are understanding? Now let us talk about the next point, ABC analysis. Write down. It's a fourth point. So write down ABC analysis. It's very important. The ABC analysis helps you understand which products are most profitable and which are the most costly. As the name suggests, it breaks the products down into three categories ABC. A is going to be, write down A is going to be about these products are the most valuable and cost and leads to the store long term. These products contributes greatly to the business's profitability. Correct? Now let us talk about the B, the second point of B, right? Now these are the mid-range products that are important sales to make, but not as the big tickets as products in the A category. Now let us talk about the C category, like the C type C, like these tend to be small tickets items with high turnover. Individual sales of these products are not as important to a business as items in the A and B categories, but high volume of C product sales are critical and profitability. Now let us talk about the fifth point. It's a safety stock inventory. Safety stock inventory is tied to your sales projections, influences your reorder quantities. It is especially important for your best selling or essential products. Safety stock is extra inventory you order beyond you order beyond your expected demand, while over ordering is never advisable. Please mark this down. It is useful to have a few more units than the expect you will need, right? Especially if you are anticipate that the item will continue to be a hot seller until unless you no need to overstock it. Now let us talk about the sixth point: drop shipping. Drop shipping is the process of receiving an order from a customer and having your supplier ship the products directly to the customer. So see, so easy it is, right? This cuts out the need for storage facility, where you will not be using the warehouse, where you are saving down your expenses there for stocking all the products in the warehouse. It's direct to customer from the supplier. So easy, right? Storage facility or for keeping an inventory on hand, it's not that easy. It is best to reserved for rare orders or items you cannot accommodate in your warehouse. You can't have space for that much of products in your warehouse. Maybe the distance from the supplier is too far, or maybe the goods are very bulk and it is a very huge quantity and it's very heavy. So you can plan things like supplier to directly to the customer, because it means your customer satisfaction is in the hands of your supplier rather than your own business. Now write down the seventh point: cross docking. Cross docking is a method that prioritizes efficiency. A delivery truck will unload at your facility directly into your truck's shipping your sales out to the customers. This eliminates the need to bring in your items into your storage facility and bypass your inventory management process. Instead, the item goes right out of right out as you receive them. This method is the best for item planned for just in time, the shipping, just in time shipping. Very good idea, right? There are several ways you can manage your inventory. Consider the circumstances of your operation and eliminate the inventory management process that makes sense for you. Now, how to improve your inventory management process? Here are I'm going to talk about several policies you should put in place to ensure the efficient and accurate management for your inventory. Project accurate sales numbers. So this comes the first point in this. when it comes to improve your inventory management process, the project accurate sales numbers is the first point. Write down the amount of inventory you keep on hand is directly related to how much you expect to sell and how quickly you can do it. For new businesses, projections might be challenged. Glean whatever data you can find online to establish a projected baseline. Then adjust your expectations over 90 days based on your real data. You need to have the data, raw dump, everything you should have. You need to have an analytical team to check out all this data. As I be an analytical person, like data mining person, where I go through into this deep, like root cause level. I dig into the data completely to understand the requirement, what is the projection, what is the expectation, all this stuff. It could be for the 90 days based, or it could be like 3 quarters, 4 quarters, 6 quarters, 1 year projection, whatever. If you are an established in businesses, use your sales history and growth projections to determine how much inventory you should always have in stock and when you need to reorder each pieces, each products, each time the goods. Pay special attention to your best selling items because they're always in demand. The best selling items are always in demand. You need to pay a lot of attention to it. Now write down the second point in this. Appoint a warehouse manager. So many people I've seen, like business entrepreneurs, they don't have a warehouse manager. So if you have a warehouse manager, you need to make sure they have all the skills. If they don't have a skill, skill them up, upskill them, train them up. Get some professionals. We have a few professionals in open business networking where you can take a consultation from them and take a support for upskilling your warehouse manager. A warehouse manager oversees the daily operations and of a warehouse and ensures all on-site workers are regularly updating software systems, the real-time tracking systems, and everything is up to date, adhering to the company's policy. This includes scanning products in and out of the correct locations, when they arrive for the delivery or not, when moving products from one place in the warehouse to another, and when they go out for the delivery to the customer. The warehouse manager also ensures the quality assurance, checks the checks the he checks the quality regularly. Regular inventory audits are performed as planned. Like every time he needs to make sure he performs this assurance check, quality check, and the inventory audits and everything regularly without miss. That is their checklist. Now third point, establish regular inventory cycle counts. Inventory cycle counts, regular inventory cycle counts. You have to establish this. Well, inventory is a setting. If a inventory is a setting to storage, it is important to regularly take stocks of the products you have in hand without recurring inventory process, cyclical inventory process in the place. That's very important, right? Makes sense, right? Sometimes businesses could lose 2% to 10% of their products, or loss or theft. Every year this is a challenge. Regular inventory audits is critical to keep the percentage of your vanished goods as low as possible. You need to have a regular audits happening for the inventory. You need to check your stocks which is there in the warehouse, in and out. You need to check what is the present stock which is there after the product which is gone out. So this will avoid your loss of 2% to 10% in your business. If the product is missing, you need to get to know in the audit, like, where exactly the product is missing. Is it from the supplier side? Is it from the franchisee, or is it from the warehouse where the manager is sending the product out, uploading, unloading, uploading, and everything? These all are very important to track down. Now the fourth point, please write down. It's implement a tracking system. Tracking can be done manually, but today it is a far more effective to use an inventory management system. There are SaaS based tools, there are SaaS based software which is available, which needs to be maintained, which needs to be implemented. This type of sophisticated software can help you automatically update your inventory in real time by scanning items and locations around the storage facility. Now, for an example, uh, uh, for example, when 10 items are delivered, you would scan that. You would scan. Then at the loading day, at the doorstep, the system updates the acknowledge the 10 items are waiting to be picked up. When a worker moves these items from the loading bay, okay, from 1 to 13 bins, whatever you have the loading, the dockets, or the facility rows. For example, they scan this item in, and the system automatically updates. This scan should be performed every time a product is moved. Then the warehouse manager can reference the software to understand preciously, where everything should be in the warehouse, and verify the accurate of that information. This is the data management. This is the data which you're going to populate. When the softwares are used, you can take the raw dump of the data in Excel, right? And then you can get the analytics done through the Excel, or maybe you can use a simple pivot table, and you can see things in the dashboard, or wherever you want, whichever makes you help you. Or you can make these templates, automated. Put the dump, and automated templates are ready with all the dashboards and the reports, week on week, month on month, quarter by quarter. So this is how you need to maintain things. These are the bones of your inventory management process. Your exact process should be influenced heavily by the unique circumstances of your businesses. For instance, manufacturers often, have a raw materials and goods to account of as a so this consideration should be central to the development of their inventory management process. Now let us talk about, benefits of inventory management for businesses. Inventory management is not most glamorous aspects of business, but it is critical to a business's profitability and scalability. Without an efficient inventory management process, businesses could not find themselves wasting money on products they can't sell, running out of stock, and causing fulfillment delays that upsets customers. See where it's going to. Then your customer satisfaction is gonna go big hit, right? So your customers not get upset because of the delay. As a result, these businesses could lose valuable items, which needs to go back to the warehouse or something like that. Sometimes customer says it's too delayed, I purchased the product from different place, or they want to cancel it because you did not meet the TAT, which immediately eats into your profit margins. An effective inventory management process can prevent these issues and offer the following benefits I'm going to talk about. Traceability of inventory. See, write down. Traceability of inventory is very important. Inventory management begins and ends with the simple goods of knowing where a product is at all times. You need to know tracking where exactly the item right now, where exactly the goods is right now, where exactly the truck is right now. Is it parked? Is it whole night has been parked in some place, or is it traveling? Did it cross the border? Is it on hold in the checkpost? You need to know all this tracking systems. Like, you need to track everything. This includes knowing when supplier has shipped the goods and when the goods arrive at your storage facility, or maybe if it's sent from your warehouse to the customers, you can know where is the product right now and when you can expect delivery to your customer's place, and you can promise the customer the product is in so and so place, and the tracking system can help them out to track it themselves, right? And you can follow up things. Makes sense, right? Where the goods are moved to within your facility, and when the goods have been shipped out of your facility to the buyer. So all these things needs to be tracked out. This is called as a traceability and of your inventory. You need a system to tell you the exact place where a product is right now. That is very important. In traceability and inventory is very, very important. This is something which you need to think about it. You need to track it as it is gets moved from your location all the way out of the door to deliver the customer. Whatever the system you use, it should be able to track items right down to the specific places, like, and they are placed in within your warehouse or storage facility. Your warehouse manager should enforce this process. You should have all the skills. If a worker if a worker moves an item without updating your data, my God, that's a blunder. That's a huge compliances. Typically through an inventory management system, it will be a difficult to locate the item when it comes, what time to send it out to the delivery. It is so difficult to manage things. So it has to be scanned, it has to be updated, in the software or your tracking system, or maybe you are doing manually, it has to be updated. Loss prevention, please write down, this is another point. Loss prevention, a major issue the major issue for a warehouse is loss, or a theft of a product, known as inventory shrinkage, especially when inventory management controls are not in place. Without regular inventory audits, it's a big well, mistake what people they do. Regular inventory audits are very important. Items could go missing for a month, and to find that out, you need to set up a team and do the investigation. So it's always like, regular inventory audits. It's a very essential. It's very important, and you will have no data. Like, you will have no idea why the items are missing. It could be a simple error, or it could be the theft. Regardless, every missing item is awaited, a wasted investment. Every missing item is your asset. Like, your investment is wasted. So avoid that. Now, cycle count should be done routinely throughout the year. The audits, everything has to be routinely, like, if you are scheduled, when is your audit, that moment the audit should be done. So before the audit happens, the departments are making sure that the stocks are all in good in place. So audit happens smoothly without any compliances. Depending on the size of your warehouse or a location, you will want to do them frequently, as so you track your quantities and catch issues right away. If there is any shortage in the counts, or maybe, the inventory management, when you do the audit, if there is any huge differences, you can immediately catch hold of it, and you can sort out the issue right away. A regular cycle count should be backed into your inventory management process, as it's going to help you confirm the accurate tracking information listed into your inventory management system. This prevents the loss or theft of the item, allowing the warehouse manager to quickly confirm that all inventory is where it should be at all given time. Now, write down the higher customer satisfaction. This is another point. Customers today expect rapid fulfillment of orders, especially when ordering products online. An effective inventory management process ensures that your products are always in stock, and that pickers can quickly locate them and send them out to the delivery. This is done. This is going to boost your customer satisfaction and increases the likelihood that you will gain repeat businesses. The moment your staff members know, like the order placed, they know where to pick the products and how to load it immediately and send it to the customers. This will boost your customer satisfaction like anything, and this is going to give you more repeated orders and repeated business and long term business with the customer. Your customers can be buying, and it can be they can be buying through your websites, or it could be your physical store. So you can have to be sure, you need to be sure, your stocked up, the products is there when there is a customer's requirement for the goods. The whole goal is to make sure you have the products you are managing, and that you can support fulfillment. Knowing where your demand is coming from, and allocating your inventory to those orders is key. Consistent inventory levels, that is also important. Please write down consistent inventory levels. An effective inventory management process also helps with inventory control, letting you know when it's time to record, when it's time to reorder, the products. You need to record all these things. Again, you need to again and again, you will get to know, when to reorder the products. When you see the stock in warehouse, you will get to know the demand, and you know the supply, and you will stock it. So that is why I've been telling you, you need to have the quarterly reports for the last year quarters, quarter by quarter, and compare with this present quarter, how you can perform and how you can stock the products in your warehouse. If you have a challenges, a breakthrough, we're looking at the data, historical data. You can plan your strategies for the next coming quarters by looking at the previous quarters. How was your sales up and down? What was the challenges to go? What were the challenges you faced where the sales went down? So break through those challenges on the coming quarters. This is very important. Finding the best techniques for your businesses is very, very important. Whether you are running an online online sellings, or maybe from your multi-channel businesses, from the different locations, your warehouses, effective inventory management is a key to keeping your business running effectively. And you have to make sure the customer's happy. They have a demand for your products, and you supply it in proper time. And you will not say, we don't have stock, give us 5 to 6 days time to to send the product out of your the warehouse. You should not say this. You should make sure the products are available to dispatch. You can't tell to the customer, after 6 days the products will be dispatched. No, you can't do that.